Nerfs to a bunch of the OP champs of S1.2 like Viego, Cass, and Misfortune, along with nerfs to the Bloodsong and Realm Spike support upgrades, will lead to a shift in priority on the solo carry list for this patch, and we'll be breaking it all down, providing you guys with 3 of the best champs for every single role. And as a quick heads up, our subscribers are loving our new daily guides over at SkillCapped for the new season. Whenever our challengers and researchers find new strategies, builds, or basically anything we think will help you climb, we immediately create a guide and upload it that same day. This ensures you'll get challenger insights the moments they find them, no delays, and you get any questions answered too. We started doing these unedited guides to guarantee our subscribers stay ahead in real time, while the full force of our editors and scriptwriters continue pumping out our premium courses, which take hundreds of hours to make, ensuring you get the best of daily uploads and our signature premium courses to guarantee you climb this season, or your money back. Check us out right after this. So, breaking into the top 3 for top lane for this patch is going to be Garen. Garen has been on the upswing as of recent due to a new setup gaining more and more traction. We noted in our recent updated tier list how Garen has really been liking the swiftness boots this season, and the Swift March upgrade is incredibly powerful. It's looking like Swift March won't be nerfed for this patch either, which is quite surprising. Back last season, only about 14% of Garen players actually built swiftness boots, but that number has ballooned to 40% as of this recent patch. The win rate on swiftness boots is literally 4% higher than that of Greaves. It's also this new rune page that is providing Garen with added power for this season, as he's really liking Axiom Arcanist. Our challenger top laner Strompist is a big advocate to this rune setup on Garen, and he just completed a full game commentary showcasing the setup that is now up on our website. Arcanist is currently winning over 2% more than Nimbus Cloak, so definitely look to try it out if you haven't already. Power being reduced on teleport for this season is indirectly really nice for Garen too, since he likes to run Ignite, so the relative power of Ignite has gotten better. The core build for Garen consists of a Stridebreaker Rush into Phantom Dancer 2nd and Mortal Reminder 3rd. Matchup wise for Garen, Tahm Kench is one meta champ that is worth a ban right now, while Camille is always one that you want to try and avoid as well. A top lane tank who is starting to become much more popular now as players are catching on to his strength in meta is Cho'Gath. With Tahm Kench getting nerfed recently, it's opened things up for Cho to take over as the best solo queue tank. Both Tahm and Cho are really good Heartsteel users, and the item just offers up so much durability and damage. Proccing Heartsteel passive in a fight combined with the added damage from Cho'Gath's E allows you to deal a ton of consistent DPS while being so difficult to take down at the same time. Cho is also another top lane champ who's really flying under the radar with swiftness boots, as they are winning over 4% more than Mercs or SteelCaps. For a champ like Cho'Gath who lacks any sort of movement ability, the swiftness boots make even more sense to run on him than most other top laners. The core build you should be taking on Cho consists of a Heartsteel Rush into Sunfire or Hollow Radiance 2nd and Unending Despair 3rd. Run Grasp for the Keystone rune with Demolish, Conditioning, and Overgrowth, followed by Free Boots and Approach Velocity for secondaries. A few good bans to consider or matchups to avoid when picking Cho include Gwen and Ambessa. Both champs have mobility that helps them dodge out on Cho's Q, and both have really good extended fight power with tank shredding capabilities, so Cho has a more difficult time against them. And back in the top 3 for another patch, rounding out the top lane solo carries, is Urgot. Urgot has been finding so much success in this new season, and is due to a couple of factors. Unlike Garen and Cho players, the majority of Urgot players are actually taking advantage of swiftness boots right now, which is leading to his overall win rate being a bit higher. Getting that Swift March boots upgrade on Urgot is just so powerful right now. Secondly, the nerfs to teleport are really great for Urgot too, because Ignite has become more viable and allows for Urgot to really dominate the early laning phase. Urgot with Ignite has so much kill pressure right from level 1. If the enemy top tries to fight you and you're able to hit them with your E, there are very few champs who you'll actually lose to in the straight up 1v1. The core build working best for Urgot consists of rushing Black Cleaver and going into Sterix Gauge 2nd. You have a really nice team fight on this 2-item spike, which suits you well for when a fight breaks out around Otacon. The standard rune page for Urgot revolves around Press the Attack with Triumph, Bloodline, and Cutdown, while Conditioning and Overgrowth are for secondaries. The only matchup in meta right now that Urgot actually has a negative win rate against is Mordekaiser, so he's a good ban to consider. A jungler who has really shot up in power as of recent and joining the top 3 for this patch is Diana. Diana is in a great spot right now, mostly due in part to a new AP Bruiser build that has made its way into meta. Diana players who are rushing Liandry's into Riftmaker 2nd and Unending Despair 3rd are absolutely dominating games right now. Compared to the build of Nashor's into Lichbane, this one offers up way more durability, which makes Diana easier to succeed with and more consistently impactful. Your extended skirmish is much better, and you don't have to worry about getting one shot right away when diving into a fight. This is definitely a more team fight oriented setup, and it's amazing for this new season where fighting around Otacon in the mid game is so important. Since so much of Diana's strength comes from being able to dive in with her R, banning out a meta peel support like Lulu is a good idea right now. The best rune page for Diana consists of Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace, while Free Boots and Cosmic Insight fight are for secondaries. All of a sudden, the jungle meta has flipped on a dime, as we had AD fighters dominating last patch, but with both Viego and Wukong now nerfed, Nunu will be joining the top 3. Nunu has been quite an under-the-radar pick to start the new season because he really benefits from all these changes. Feats of strength and Otacon being added are huge wins for Nunu, since he's a champion who thrives around objectives. As more players gravitate towards the offensive Liandry's rush, the win rate of Nunu continues to rise as well. Liandry's into Deadman's and Abyssal Mask is such a nice carry build for Nunu because it provides him with a great mix of damage and durability, whereas if you go full tank, you just don't have that same kind of kill threat on your own. Champs who have strong disengage and peel power are who can be more annoying to play into as Nunu, so banning Karma or Lulu is good value right now. Standard rune page for Nunu consists of Phase Rush with Axiom Arcanist, Celerity, and Water Walking, followed by Triumph and Haste for secondaries. And to round out the jungle top 3 for S1.3, we have Amumu. Amumu is just super consistent in this new season because his team fight is so powerful, and that leads to very favorable fights around Otacon. Amumu R, when the entire enemy team is bunched up trying to kill Otacon, has so much impact, and it can quite literally solo win you games. Amumu has also been loving the changes to Abyssal Mask for this season, as the item's win rate has actually gone up even more after the adjustments. It's just a really nice core build for Amumu right now, as you go Liandry's for some damage, and then dip into Sunfire and Abyssal for that durability. You'll notice a trend right now with the strongest junglers in meta being that they all rush Liandry's and then go tank after that, which provides a very forgiving yet powerful setup for solo queue. You just really can't go wrong with banning Lulu right now when picking any hard engaged champion due to her high pick rate in meta, so it's what we'd recommend when playing Amumu. The optimal rune page for Amumu consists of Conqueror with Triumph, Haste, and Last Stand, followed by Cheap Shot and Ultimate Hunter for secondaries. Just released last patch, joining the solo carry top 3 for mid lane is going to be Mel. Even after the hotfix nerfs that Mel received, we still think she's a very strong pick, and there's even still optimization in regards to builds that can make her way better. Despite the most popular build for Mel being a Ludens into Shadowflame core, it's actually by far the worst performing setup for her. Our challenger player Hector went into detail about this in his daily update that he posted on our website. The gist is that Mel really wants to be able to keep her passive stacks active in order to thrive the most, and by going for a build of Ludens into Shadowflame, you just don't get much haste at all, and this in turn does not allow you to as reliably keep up your passive stacks. When you go for an alternative option that is winning a lot more right now, like Archangels into Cosmic Drive, you get a ton of haste and can spam abilities way more often. Mel just seems to be working way better right now as a consistent damage source instead of a burst source, so if you have not tried out the Archangels with Cosmic Drive core, definitely give it a go. Matchup wise for Mel, she's actually faring quite well against melee mids, as her W can be very useful when they try to jump on you. Ranged mids with catch power are who Mel struggles more against right now, so Syndra is one of the better bans in meta. For Mel's rune page, look to grab Comet with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch, followed by Presence of Mind and Coup de Grace for secondaries. Moving back into the top 3 for mid lane for this patch is going to be Vex. Vex has been one of the few Electrocute mid laners over the past few patches who has actually continued to perform pretty well, so the fact that Electrocute is getting buffed for this patch will put her in a really good spot. Electrocute is getting a whole 20 base damage added in the early game, which will make Vex's ability to lane into melee mids even better than before. With Electrocute buffed, it likely leads to a surge in play for many of its users, and Vex plays super well into most of them, so this patch is a win-win for her. One matchup that most Vex players are having a more difficult time against right now is Mel, so she's a good ban to consider. Mel just outranges Vex and Mel W. It makes it quite difficult for Vex to assassinate due to the spell giving Mel invulnerability to damage. The standard core build for Vex revolves around a Luden's Rush into Shadowflame 2nd and Zanya's or Rabadon's 3rd. The rune page should consist of Electrocute with Taste of Blood, Grizzly Mementos, and Ultimate Hunter, followed by Mana Flow and Transcendence for secondaries. More of a niche mid lane pick right now, but one we think is incredibly powerful and very underrated is Vel'Koz. If you're someone who enjoys playing the lesser played but strong champs in the game, Vel fits that criteria perfectly right now. Vel becoming a powerful mid lane pick has been brewing for a while now, as he got buffs towards the end of last season, and then the rune changes for this season have been great for him too. It's mainly the fact that compared to last season, Vel R is on a way shorter cooldown now in the mid game. He got 20 seconds shaved off of the base cooldown from the buff, and now the new rune Axiom Arcanist also provides cooldown reduction on takedowns. Couple this with taking Transcendence and Haste in runes, and you have yourself so much ability haste for your R, which makes Vel's mid game extremely deadly. The champ is also just incredibly powerful due to the new season bringing more emphasis to team fighting, as Vel'Koz around Otacon can pack a massive punch with all his AoE damage potential. Matchup wise for Vel'Koz, he struggles more against highly mobile champs, so banning out Ahri Ahri or Katarina is good value. The best core build that you should be running consists of Black Fire Torch into Horizon Focus, as it provides a ton of ability haste to put your R on a super short cooldown. Twitch mains have been loving the past couple of patches as the champ has received so many indirect buffs and is looking to take over the meta in S1.3. We've seen the addition of Axiom Arcanist, buffs to Yuntal Wild Arrows, and now in this patch, the attack speed cap is being increased, so 3 changes that have boosted Twitch's power. Yuumi and Lulu actually being quite strong in meta right now is also big for Twitch, as he's winning over 53% of the time with both of them. The build you'll want to be trying on Twitch for this patch consists of a Yuntal Rush into Infinity Edge 2nd and Hurricane 3rd. The optimal rune page revolves around Lethal Tempo with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace, followed by Axiom Arcanist and Gathering Storm for secondaries. The one ADC in meta who's worth a ban right now when picking Twitch is Corki. Corki does have a much stronger early to mid game, so it makes it more difficult for Twitch to scale up into his powerful mid game spike. Another ADC who has been on the rise due to recent indirect buffs is Jinx. Jinx is one of the few ADCs that most players actually build Yuntal on, so the buffs from last patch were great for her. With Jinx in a top tier spot right now, if you're looking to pick her up, our Master and Minutes course on our website is a great resource to help fast track your success. If you're not super familiar with Jinx, you may think that the attack speed cap buff would be great for her. However, it doesn't actually matter for Jinx because she's a champ who's already able to exceed the attack speed cap due to her passive. Regardless, the attack speed cap buff shouldn't even end up being that impactful for most champs, since actually reaching the cap requires so much attack speed anyways. Since Jinx lacks a gap closer and is vulnerable to heavy dive, using your ban on whichever dive champ is most played in meta is never a bad idea, and right now Diana would be that pick. The best core build for Jinx right now consists of rushing Yuntal, going Infinity Edge 2nd and Hurricane 3rd. It's Lethal Tempo for the Keystone Rune with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Cutdown, while Free Boots and Biscuits are for secondaries. And taking home the 3rd solo carry slot for ADC this patch is going to be Vayne. Attack speed cap buffs can end up being nice for Vayne in the very later stages of the game, so she gets indirectly stronger for S1.3. It's honestly more so the way that the support meta is aligned right now, which is helping to boost Vayne's relative power up. We just saw Yuumi buffed last patch, and the Vayne-Yuumi duo is currently winning over 53%. Lulu and Nami are also heavily contested in meta right now, and Vayne's winning over 53% with them as well. Melee supports and mages are getting weaker this patch due to the Bloodsong and Realm Spike nerfs, so it gives even more rise to enchanters. On top of this, Rel is nerfed, Tom was just recently nerfed, so the bot lane meta is starting to favor these scaling picks like Twitch, Jinx, and Vayne. Lane bully ADCs like Ashe, Kate, and Draven really aren't that strong right now either, which is helping Vayne a lot. The best early to mid game ADC in meta right now is Corki, so he's honestly a better ban than Ashe or Kate. Vayne's core build right now consists of a Blade of the Ruined King Rush into Rage Blade 2nd and Terminus or Wit's End 3rd. You should be running Lethal Tempo for the Keystone Rune with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace, while Conditioning and Overgrowth are for secondaries. With Rel nerfed for this patch, taking her spot in the top 3 for support is going to be Lulu. Enchanters in general get indirectly stronger for S1.3 due to the Bloodsong and Realm Spike nerfs, and Lulu has already been one of the best in recent patches. With Jinx in meta and one of the best ADCs, it's great for Lulu as that duo is winning over 53% of the time. We've been advocating for this build on Lulu for a while now, and players are finally prioritizing the Ardent Rush more than anything else for this season. Ardent Rush on Lulu and having that completed before big teamfights break out in the mid game provides you with a really strong skirmish. It's either Shurelya's or Moonstone for the second item on Lulu, as Shurelya's is best against heavy dive where you need more peel power. Otherwise, Moonstone is the way to go. There aren't really too many strong counters to Lulu in meta right now, as Blitz is never a bad choice, but he's not really being picked too much at the moment. In this case, just banning out a strong meta champ in general like Mel is a good idea. For Lulu's rune page, you should be taking Ahri with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch, while Bone Plating and Revitalize are for secondaries. Buffed for this patch and looking to make his way back into the support meta is Thresh. With Tom nerfed last patch, Rel nerfed this patch, and Poppy getting weaker due to the Bloodsong nerf, Thresh is set to become a really great pickup. Rel was actually Thresh's worst performing matchup analytically last patch, so Rel losing some power is really nice. Thresh really hadn't even been a bad pick in recent patches either. He's been right around a 50% win rate, so with the direct buffs and all these champs around him getting weaker, priority on Thresh should be much higher. Morgana is always going to be a pretty good ban for Thresh, as her Black Shield makes it difficult to find catch plays as freely as you'd like. Core build for Thresh consists of Locket and a Knight's Vow, while Solstice Slay is the best item upgrade. You should grab Aftershock for the Keystone Rune with Font of Life, Bone Plating, and Unflinching, followed by Biscuits and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. And for our final solo carry of the patch, the best early game enchanter that you can play right now is Nami. Nami feels really good to play right now because she's a support who has a snowbally one-item spike, being Imperial Mandate, and having the item completed before mid-game teamfights break out will really boost your team's ability to win out around Otacon. All you gotta do is pop your E on your ADC and watch them absolutely melt, which takes no skill at all. Nami's kit is just really great because she has those no skill aspects with her W and E, while her Q and R provide the skill expression. so you can still succeed with the champ even if you're new. However, the more games you put in, the more you'll be rewarded. The best item upgrade for Nami is Dream Maker, and then your second item is usually either Shirelia's or Moonstone. As noted when covering Lulu, the Shirelia's pickup is going to be best suited when you really need the active movement speed against heavier dive comps, but if you're playing into lower mobility comps where your kit's peel power will be enough, going Moonstone is the way. Matchup-wise for Nami, champs with long-range catch power are who you want to try and avoid, so banning out Blitz is good value. Nami's rune page revolves around Aerie with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch, followed by Bone Plating and Revitalize for secondaries. Alright guys, one last thing, our rank up guarantee is insane. It's like signing up for the gym and getting a refund if you don't get ripped. That's how confident we are in SkillCapped. We obsess over making the best guides with top players, rigorous testing, and top-tier video editing to make your climb easy. If you're ready to level up, visit SkillCapped.com and see the difference. So there you have it everyone, a complete update on 3 of the best champs for every single role in patch S1.3. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you back soon.